This video is for business leaders who want to change the world, their company, and their success by changing their own habits and those of their employees. Are you currently perfect in your habits, or are you like me, imperfect and ever evolving your habits to make yourself, your success, and the world better? Watch to the end of this video for material on refining your habit change strategies, a recommended video on daily habit mastery, and my downloadable Mastery Habits Guide for creating more effective habits. I recently listened to Katie Milkman's excellent book, How to Change. The most outstanding thing for me was that she conceded that even the best techniques known to behavioral change psychology and behavior change management aren't permanent set it and forget it solutions. That's why periodically changing and evolving your habits and strategies will help you and your team maximize their effectiveness. And to supercharge your progress, use deliberate practice to practice your mastery habits. To be honest, right now, I'm still struggling with consistently creating my email marketing content. I hate it. It's a slog for me every time, which is why I'm changing the details of forming that habit every week until I get the right recipe for me. It's quite interesting because all of the underlying skills I use every day when I shoot these videos, but when it comes to the email marketing, it's just the last thing on my list, even though it needs to be moved to one of the first or second things on my list as a result of the fact that I don't get it done as effectively or consistently as I need to. So it's sort of embarrassing as an expert on this topic that I struggle at these kind of things myself in some cases. Fortunately for me, that makes me better, especially when I have to drag myself kicking and screaming, when I have to apply my own expertise to my own behavioral change, especially when it's troubling for me, but it makes me better at what I do and what I consult on. And the tools I create for myself, which is the whole reason I've started this consultancy, then benefit others, including hopefully you, but only if you and I apply these tools. They're useless unless they're acted upon. The most reliable one I've created, lots of quotes today. I created it for myself. I'm using the quotes because others have obviously done the same thing, but nothing has been more effective in my experience, in my own years, decades, in fact, of experimentation, has been daily habits. And science supports daily habits just as your dentist done. Let's put it this way. Only evolve the habits you want to be more successful at. So if a habit is working superbly for you, keep doing it. Don't change a thing. If not, download my gift, Habit Mastery Guide. The link will be in the description. But even the best habits can be changed and improved as you change and improve. So consider reviewing your most effective habits, the ones that are still working kick-ass, probably at least quarterly, just to make sure there's no way you could make them and yourself even better. And revise your least effective habits continuously, say weekly or at least monthly, until you're making consistent progress, such as I need to do with said content. So welcome. Thank you for staying this far. We are now going into the bonus content. And so Katie's book cleared something up for me that I knew from experience, but didn't have the scientific backup or the scientific validation of. And this is actually cool because it's sort of like, I knew it, but you know, the science is important because oftentimes we're nowhere near as objective as we believe we are. We have all of us have confirmation bias, and probably more than we think. So Katie, thank you for giving me the scientific proof of what I knew from experience and now have that validation, the scientific validation for. When you're starting a new change, start strict. Same bat time, same bat place. I hope you're old enough to know that reference. If not, check it out by looking it up. Same bat time, same bat channel. So daily is best, but consistency is key. By this, I mean that every single day is good because there's a long list of reasons, but just trust me, every single day is not only good, but best in most cases, but consistency is truly the key. So whether you do it daily or weekly, every fill in the blank amount of time or every fill in the blank occasion or every fill in the blank trigger, every time I do X, I will do Y. Every time I experience X, I will do Y is really a fundamental part of it. Nothing is everything, but it is key. So while strict and consistent gets you started, it's rigid, and that habit may shatter in the face of circumstances beyond your control. That makes the same time and place or whatever thing impossible. That is, you want to do something at the same time and place, but your schedule changes. There's an emergency. There is something outside of your control that forces you not to be able to do your new habit at that same time and place as you would like to, because it helps you establish it, and it truly does. That's why in the case of choosing between very strict and at the exact same time, it's good in terms of starting and forming a habit. But flexibility beats strictness for maintaining habits long term. So my suggestion is to hybridize the two. Make a detailed, specific, concrete plan, or as she calls it, and the whole behavioral change science calls it, an implementation attention. And have it so its detail is complete or near complete in terms of your control over it. That is, your implementation should be something you can either entirely control or almost entirely control, and with strict criteria. So it would look something like this. After you've made that plan, so for example, I'm going to go through some examples at the end, but essentially, I will exercise every second day at the park using my kettlebell and doing my kettlebell squat interval training. Now, the next thing you do after you've made that specific, concrete, actionable plan, then you make a plan to fail. And this is where the flexibility comes in. And that would look something like this. So strict would be, as I just said, I will train by doing my kettlebell squats in my local park every second day at 6 a.m. when it's coolest outside. It's coming to the end of summertime here in Japan, and it's finally getting cooler, but it's usually coolest at about 6 a.m., which is a good time to train. Then you add the flexibility in after the strict, specific, concrete terms of which you have mostly control over. So flexible. If it's raining, I'll train across the alley from my apartment in the covered parking structure instead of at the park. Another flexible example would be, if my schedule makes training impossible on my normal day, I will train the very next day or the next scheduled day, which is 2 days later, since I'm doing it every second day. And the last one is another flexible version. This is part of the plan to fail, or the plan to flex maybe is a better word for it. If I can train the scheduled day, my scheduled day, but not at the scheduled time, I'll train at a different time that same day. Simple. So what I've just described is my real life plan for working out, and it has worked effectively now for a decade. If it were not for the flexibility component of it, it would not have worked, because this is a rainy country, and oftentimes my schedule doesn't allow me to do it at all, or to be able to do it at the time I would ideally like. Right now it's 7:25 a.m. and I will be doing my workout that I just described after I do this video. So it's a perfect example. So sometimes I miss, most times I don't, but I'm still doing this a decade later. So the bottom line is the proof is in the pudding. That's it. And my recommended video for today is Daily Habit Mastery. I will put a link there and in the description. And please click and share the link in the description to today's download of my Mastery Habit Guide. This has been Crush It Club 261. Change the world by changing your habits. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.